Alright everyone, welcome back. Sierra Games Scott here, and I think the music's, checked the last video, I think the music's okay. It gets a little quieter after you get the introduction, but I think it came across fine on my video. If it is a problem, if you'd like it a little louder, let me know. However, I am actually just pretty much moving into the second video. I'm not sure how many I'll do in one sitting, so when we'll be able to get to the point where I can rectify things, I'm not 100% sure. This probably will be the last one for the night, especially since I'll probably make it a little bit on the longer side, or a little bit longer than the last video. But in any event, as you may recall, we're in Mordavia, where we haven't been given that much information about it, though we just met Katrina, who told us that this is a dangerous area. She's an attractive peasant girl. I did a half-decent job, hopefully, of conveying her voice to everyone, and we're going to continue on. I am actually really excited about this LP. I was sort of feeling that way when I thought of going into the LPs again and playing Shadow of the Darkness, but now that I am here and doing things, I'm remembering the game, and I'm really excited to get into this. Now, this is a test of the technical component. You'll probably not see this video, so I'm probably talking to nobody if it creates an error, but this is a spot that was notorious, at least on the CD version, pardon me, of causing some sort of fatal exception. And so let's hope that we can pass this first test. So sorry for not reading that. It's just pretty much saying what this area is like. We can even look around, maybe we can get the same thing. A pool of sticky, sickly, greasy-looking slime dominates this area. Below the cave, a stream of slimy goo oozes down the right side, and goo dripping on the path makes it slimy and treacherous as well. Alright, so it is a slimy area, and that is relevant because it's difficult to get back up that way. Alright, so we were able to finally make our way down, and there is no fatal exception, so you are still watching this video, which is good. And at some point, we'll have to find a way up here. The standing stone feels rock solid. And I think you can... The Dark One sign does look a little like the top of the standing stone, so you try touching the sign to the stone. You feel a resonance between them, but nothing else happens. Alright, so that's that. There's some things we'll have to do here later on, but let us first save the game. So we have a way of getting back here should anything unfortunate beset us, and otherwise, let's go explore Mordavia. And this is a creepy looking area. But, okay, so it is daytime. Usually it's nighttime, I thought, when you get out of that, the Dark One's cave. But it is not. So as you can tell, this is very similar to Spielberg. It's very similar in a couple ways. It's similar, that's a forest area, but it's also similar because you had a larger map in, if you recall, in 2 and 3, Quest for Glory 2 and 3. And this one is actually walking through a bunch of screens. 2 is a bit of a hybrid. I mean, there's the magic map to move through the city, and then, but you could still move through screens, so I guess that's not 100% true. But there's really nothing outside of the city of Shapir or the city of Razier that you can do. Everything is really, there's a few scenes, but most of it's just continuous desert. Sort of like Tarna, where it's just a continuous jungle, but you can see the overview. Everything really happens in one of the cities, which is not necessarily the case here. So this is more like homage to Quest for Glory 1. The tower stands above the town wall, massive, silent sentinels over the gate. The town gates, made of massive oak logs, are currently wide open. There's a heavy oaken bar to secure them at night. The villagers have erected a scarecrow to keep the birds away from the newly harvested corn. Some beautiful giant pumpkins are growing in the field. Alright, so I just want to take a look at the scenery a little bit. I didn't want to we're not going to take a look at every last thing. I won't bore you that way, and use up my voice in the process. One of the interesting things, too, that you might notice is each of the games has its own mythology. Those of you who are experts in the game or very knowledgeable knows that. But the first one was sort of Western Europe or Northern Europe. The second one was Middle Eastern, Arabian. Third one was sort of Egyptian slash Sub-Saharan African, and then this one's back to Europe, but it's more of an Eastern European flavor. And then of course you see those jack-lanterns and things, the harvest time, the fall, evoking Halloween. And this game, like I mentioned, really deals a lot with the undead, the macabre, the occult, which makes it a little bit more frightening, as I mentioned, but sort of takes that direction, whereas the first one was more sort of dragons and monsters, so there was undead, of course, and the second one was some of the creatures from Middle Eastern mythology, and third one dealing more with Egyptian and African mythology. So, well, you don't have any rations, you better get some food soon. This is, let's take a look at what this is. Beautiful out-of-season flowers grow all around the stone monument. The curved staff has a very organic look to it. Its curve seems somehow feminine. You can feel a sense of magical power radiating all around it. And I won't spoil the surprise what this is. The staff feels warm and almost alive in your hands. You hear an eerie voice in your head. This I must do, the sacrifice of life for one of love. You find yourself letting go of the staff very quickly. Yeah, so let's continue on and see what there is in town. You! How did you get here? Why are you here? Few strangers come to Moldavia. I am the Bürgermeister. It is my job to know everyone and everything that goes on here. Okay, so this guy does not like us at first. At all. The Bürgermeister looks like a strong, hardy man, but he has a sad expression. Well, let's converse with this guy. I am going to try to converse as much as possible. I think most of you would like that. It will cause the game to be, I don't know, I wouldn't say drag, but it'll definitely cause us to spend more time in the game than if we just tried to plow through. But that's not the point of this, so just want to give you a heads up on that. That we'll probably be doing as much dialogue as possible. Let's ask him about the Bürgermeister. My name is Dmitry Ivanov. I am the Bürgermeister of this town. Alright. A man of few words. Moldavia is a valley surrounded by mountains. There used to be a road which led from here, but heavy rains have created a swamp at the base of the mountains south of here. No wagons can get in or out, nor can any person. Except perhaps you. Town. This is the town of Moldavia. There's an inn and a shop down the street where you can spend the night, get some supplies, and be on your way. The sooner you leave, the better for all. There are many dangers in Moldavia, and we certainly not need a stranger to stir up new troubles. Alright. The Hotel Moldavia has rooms and food. It's a safe place to spend the night. The shop does not carry much. We have been cut off from supplies for a while. Still, you may at least restock your food rations before you continue on your travels. There are many strange and dangerous creatures that live in Moldavia. Trust nothing. The gates of this town are closed at sunset. Do not let yourself get caught outside at dark, for few can survive a Moldavian night, or remain sane enough to speak of it. Just leave Moldavia quickly. No good comes from outsiders, and we do not want you here. Well, see, it's the welcoming committee. That's all we can ask him, but if you click on yourself, I think it was true for 3 as well, you can tell things about yourself. The Burgermeister stares at you suspiciously. Tell about yourself. You tell the Burgermeister how you came here. Do you expect me to believe such a story? That you could walk out of that cave alive? That the cave would be open? Tell me no more lies. Alright, make the thief sign. You put your, okay, it's the thief sign. Idiot. We need no more fools around here. Go away. Leave here, quickly. Go, and soon. Alright, so this is not our biggest member of our fan club. But if you go inside, you can actually continue the conversation. Are you sightseeing or casing my place? The Burgermeister really isn't one of those touchy-feely kind of guys, so you cannot rumble with the Burgermeister. To be honest, I do not trust you. What you say of yourself is unbelievable, and what you do around here seems likely to get you in trouble. If the pass was clear, I would ask you to leave Mordavia. As things are, I will be watching you closely. The Old Adventurers Guild is at the north end of town. It has been abandoned for many years, as we have not had many adventurers who could cross the swamp. Seeing as you are supposed to be an adventurer here, I have a key to the guild door. Perhaps you could find something of use there. Alright, so that's helpful. To the northwest of town is Castle Borgov. It used to be owned by the Borgov Boyars of Mordavia, but the last Borgov died years back, and no one came to take his place. Some strangers moved in some years back, but they had nothing to do with the town, and we have nothing to do with them. The older road from town used to meet with the road from the castle and head south to the pass. The heavy rains have not only created a swamp, but caused so much plant growth you can't see the road anymore. The swamp is a dangerous and foul place. They say that all who ever were buried beneath the earth there now reach up to drag the living to their deaths. I have seen for myself that this is true. Stay far away from the swamp if you value your safety. There are other things in Mordavia to see and do, but I am not a tour guide here. Go off and see for yourself. But be careful. The gates of the town are locked at night, so be sure to return before it gets dark. It's dangerous to be outside after sunset. Everyone in Mordavia minds his own business and does not go looking for trouble. You obviously do not fit in well here. The funny thing about adventure games, I think, I speak for many of us, is that people play stay out of trouble and other people's business, and you and I will get along with one another. Otherwise, you will get me angry. I'm sure you don't want to make me angry, do you? We do not. I was going to say, for adventure gamers, or people who played video games, particularly these types of games, probably tend to be more reserved, shy, nerdy people. And the funny thing is, these characters put us in the position of really being very assertive and outgoing and very inquisitive, which may not be our nature, at least not in the interpersonal sense. Not saying nobody's like that. At least my personality would not lend itself to being much like the hero or the main character protagonists of any of these games. Alright, well, we've got a lot of things to do. I mean, one of the difficulties, I think, in this game, I don't want to have too much exposition, but this game is not linear at all, and I think it's the best one for doing that, so there's no set path of what we should or can do. We can do a lot of things. I think we'll just move through methodically for a lot of these places, and there'll probably be a lot of videos, or quite a few videos dealing with a town. We have longer periods, so maybe not as many videos as would have been in the past, but definitely there'll be a lot here in the town before we explore other things. Hope that's not a problem. Hope you're enjoying things. But let's continue on to the next shop and see what the time looks like when we're done with that set of dialogue. The general store is cheery. Willed it, thanks to the warm hearth. The first thing you notice are the cats. They seem to be everywhere. Then you see a shopkeeper sitting on a rocking chair as she knits. She's a very, well, sturdy-looking woman. So you're the stranger in town. I've heard all about you already. Well, word moves pretty quickly since all we've talked to is the Burgermeister. We've been here about 10 minutes. Well, I guess we'll talk to the lady. If you must know, my name is Olga Stovich. What's your name, stranger? What are you doing in Moldavia? Tell you a few things about yourself. Professional hero. Hey, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. Well, let's see. What could you use? Well, besides my regular items, like brooms and pans, I really don't have that much anymore for adventurers like yourself. I do have some lovely sandwiches I can use for rations, and garlic. Of course, you'll need garlic. I've also got some oil you can use to keep weapons and armor from rusting. If you like sweets, I've got yummy homemade candy, although the garlic-flavored ones have all been purchased by now. I'll have to make up some more. Oh, and a shopping bag to carry things in. I have a couple of those left. That's a lot of information, but, well, we'll try going through it. 3 twists of candy will cost you just 5 kopecks. The kids love them. Garlic is a must-have item. It's just 25 kopecks for a bulb, and it'll add flavor to any food. The storekeeper looks around nervously for a moment, then continues. Some say garlic also has medicinal and protective properties. Probably referring to vampires. My husband always said I make the most interesting sandwiches. They're very good for you. They only charge 50 kopecks, each of them. Well, avocado is good for you, I guess. The shopping bag costs 50 kopecks. It's very useful for carrying your purchases or other large things. A flask of oil will cost you 100 kopecks. It's good for door squeaks, and you can also be used to loosen up rusty wheels. I could sell you a very nice large pie pan for 250 kopecks. I've always admired a man who can cook. I can sell you a very nice, you can purchase the hand broom for 350 kopecks. I'm sure you'll really clean up with it. We do not need that. The hand broom, I believe, only is necessary for the paladin for quest he has. So we won't be purchasing that. Let's see. We asked about goods for sales. I think that's if you want to actually purchase the goods. What about rumors? What would you like to know about? Innkeeper's wife. Bella's a good woman. She's the one who really runs the inn. Her husband just gives her orders. Someday she'll give Yuri a piece of her mind, and good for her. The thing she puts up with. She was a pretty woman not long ago. Wasn't called Bella for nothing. Losing her only child really aged her. What a tragedy. Okay, so we'll meet her later on and give us a little background information about her. The castle. The castle north of town was abandoned for many years. Then some strangers moved in 4 years ago. No one knows what goes on there now, but it wouldn't be for the good, I tell you. Werewolves and gypsies, arco-gypsies, no question about it. They change into wolves at night, eating anyone they can get. Nothing can kill a werewolf but silver or magic, so be very careful in the woods at night, do you hear? The gypsy camp is not at all that far from here. It's a bad place, and you'd better have nothing to do with it. It's dangerous and should have been torn down long ago. Many a stranger never came back after asking questions about it, so don't let your curiosity be the death of you. That's all, I think. And, okay, we can tell about ourselves. We should probably keep her polite, aren't you? Well, manners are as manners do, as my husband used to say. We'll see. We don't need to buy anything. Thief sign. I'm sorry, but I don't have any medication for epileptics. Maybe Dr. Cream can help you. He's a guy we'll see later on. So let's purchase goods. Oh, okay, it's the same thing. So you can click on each. We won't buy anything right at this moment. And, yeah, I think that's a pretty good introduction to the game, to the town. And so, as we continue on, we'll take a look at the inn next time, and then I'll make a decision which direction we'll head. But this is Sierra Game Scott. Hope you're having a good time. I am, and we will continue on with Quest for Glory 4, Shadows of the Darkness, Sierra Game Scott LP, next time on Video 3. Until then, Sierra Game Scott, signing off.